this session will pay for the renovation downstairs. That's 125 grand, so.
Now, in today's video, we're going to be having a YouTube strategy session with one of my friends and students, William Brown. Will's got 79,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's currently pulling in around $500,000 per month from his channel. So what I'm going to do in today's session is lay out an exact step-by-step game plan for him on how he can go from $500,000 a month to around $750,000 per month organically from YouTube. Now, we cover a lot of ground in this video, going over things like how to come up with amazing video ideas, how to get more views on your channel, but most importantly, I will show you how to actually start making serious amounts of money from YouTube. Now, if you're a coach or a consultant and you're someone who really wants to start growing on YouTube, the tactics and strategies that I share in this video are going to be invaluable to you because you're basically going to learn how to really scale your coaching business through YouTube. So with that being said, let's go to the mastermind. Today we're here with Will Brown, and I'm actually going to let him introduce himself to the channel. So Will, can you explain who you are, what your channel teaches, and just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am an entrepreneur. I have built 2 8-figure online course coaching businesses, e-learning companies. Sold one of them to a private equity firm last year for multi-7 figures. The new consulting company is called Build, Grow and Exit.com. And I help people to build and grow and exit online course and coaching e-learning companies, essentially. So my channel kind of centers around that. My channel is a bit of a, well, this is part of the reason for the session. It's a bit of a mismatch, mix-up of just random ideas that I have. So when I started my channel, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a strategy. I didn't have anything. I just pressed record, talked, stopped, upload, thought of a cool title. I just messed around and had fun, basically. And that's what actually worked best, was just keeping it just my brain and no outside influence, no copying other channels, no remaking Outliers, no strategy, just fun and me, basically. And that's kind of one of the things I want to talk about today is maybe getting a bit more back to that, because I've got a bit away from that, where I'm thinking, should we do day in the lives? Should we do whiteboards? Should we do this? Should we script them? Should we not? So, and if anyone knows the answer to that, I think one of those people is going to be Oscar. So there we go.
Amazing. So let's just start off then with where your channel's currently at. So what's your subscriber count? How much money does it make on average per month? Because you're obviously a business owner, so you're not doing YouTube to become the next Mr. Beast. You're doing YouTube as a way to get more leads for your business and also build your personal brand. And so what's your subscriber count? How much money is it making right now? And then also, where do you want to get to?
Yeah. So at the moment, we've got 79,000, I think 200 subs, give or take 50 or so, about 79K. We get on a slow month, we get about 60,000 views. On a good month, we get about 110,000 views. It kind of hovers between 60K and about 110K views per month. And we book at the moment about 11 sales calls per day. And about 70% of those are from YouTube. So I think from YouTube, it's fair to say we book, I don't know, about, on average, 6-7 calls a day from the YouTube channel. And at the moment, we're averaging about $450,000 a month cash collected to about $600,000 a month dollars cash collected. With, again, about 70% of that coming from YouTube itself. Yeah.
And with your current students, if someone joins your program, what's their average lifetime value? So how much money can you expect to make from a student?
Quite a lot, to be honest. I mean, if I had to put an average LTV, it's probably about 25K.
25K?
25K.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, 25K, because if people come into like the middle program, they pay for a few months, that's about 25 in itself, you know? So that's probably where the LTV lies, without an exact number, about 25 grand.
So if we take that as a starting point, if you wanted to add 100K per month to your business, you would essentially need, on average, 4 more clients per month. And if you're doing 6 to 7 calls from YouTube, and what's your close rate right now?
I would say About 23%.
And obviously that varies because I'd say from YouTube, it's probably slightly higher just because there's more trust built versus Instagram might be slightly lower. So that's probably quite conservative as well, is my guess. But based off that, if you wanted to add 100K per month to your channel, you need 4 more closes. If it's 23% close rate, you probably need maybe 10 more calls or 12 more calls per month to add an extra 100K to your business.
And the goal at the moment, rev-wise, our next target is, well, the overall target is $1 million a month cash. The next stop mark is 750 cash, which we haven't hit yet. The closest we've got is 610K.
Okay, cool. Well, I've been through your channel. There's definitely a lot of things, a lot of techniques that you probably haven't heard of that 100% can increase your views, subscriber count, but most importantly, also turn more viewers into buyers. And from there, increase the amount of money you're making to hopefully get to 750K. If we begin with getting more views on your YouTube channel, I think we could start there, and then we can talk about how we convert those viewers into buyers through things like call to actions, lead magnets, and funnels. We can go down that route secondly. But I think if I come this side now, at the end of the day, with your channel, the more views you get, and we're talking about quality views here, the more sales calls you're going to book. I think Alex Hormozi said more traffic will solve 99% of your problems, and I really agree with that statement. Now, the question is, what is the best way to get more views on your channel? I think there are certain techniques that you're not using on your channel that could actually get you a lot more views a lot faster. Ooh. And the first one is what is known as thumbnail rehashing. Thumbnail rehashing, for those of you who don't know, is essentially when you take a thumbnail, you find a video that has a very high watch time, meaning that video, when people click on it, they watch a lot of it, but it's got a very low click-through rate. And when you look at those two stats, it basically means that if people watch the video for a long time, but not many people are clicking on it in the first place, it means your thumbnail itself can be improved. And when you improve your thumbnail, you can bring in a new audience to your channel. Now, people always say to me, they're like, okay, Oscar, cool, but does it actually move the needle? Does it actually get a lot more views? And the answer is yes. There's a reason why Mr. Beast does this. There's a reason why Iman Gatsi does this. There's a reason why Alex Hormozi does this. There's a reason why every single big YouTuber is constantly redoing their thumbnails. And to give you a personal example, on my main channel, I had a video that was plateauing at 30,000 views after 3 months, updated the thumbnail, and within 4 weeks, it went from 30,000 views to 100,000 views. And that's 70,000 more views without any extra work. Because the second objection people have to this is they go, well, I'd love to update all my thumbnails, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the energy or the effort. But it's actually the other way around. Because if you want to get more views on your channel, which will get you to the obviously 100K mark, and obviously more book calls and whatnot, it's a lot faster to just update a thumbnail, which you can realistically outsource, and it might take you 20 minutes, than it is to come up with a new idea, script, film, edit, ideate, upload a new video, right? And especially when you identify the videos on your channel that already exist that have high watch time, low click-through rate, it's actually something that literally if you did it with all of your thumbnails over the next couple of weeks, I reckon you could bring in probably an extra 100,000 views to your channel really, really fast. Wow. So question is, how do you actually do it? So it's really simple. You can just use AI. So I've kind of developed a whole AI system that does it. All you need to do is you go to YouTube Studio, then you go to your analytics, and then you go to advanced mode. And when you go on advanced mode, all these different boxes pop up. All you need to do, these two boxes will auto-populate, but there's average click-through rate and average watch time. They will automatically appear when you click on advanced mode. You go to the top right-hand corner of YouTube Studio, and you download the .csv file. And what that's going to do is download every single video on your YouTube channel, their watch time, their click-through rates, and all this other stuff as well. You copy that CSV file into ChatGPT, and all you say to ChatGPT is, hey, ChatGPT, what I want you to do is go through all of my videos and find the ones that have statistically the highest watch time and the lowest click-through rate, and just give me the top five videos that follow those two rules or those two parameters. And it's just going to spit out a list of, let's say, the top 5 or top 10 videos that you need to change. Then from there, you run an A/B test. So what you don't do is you don't go, okay, cool, I need to change this video here. and you don't just update the thumbnail. Instead, YouTube has an inbuilt feature, which is A/B split testing.
Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. And what it will do is you update the thumbnail, so you'd have to outsource that to someone on your team. We can talk about that in a second if you want. And all YouTube do is will compare them. And from there, if the new thumbnail doesn't perform as well, which has happened to me many times, it just switches it back to the old thumbnail within 7 days. So you're not actually running any risk doing this either. You're not, let's say a video you've made has got 100,000 views and it's doing all right, and then the new thumbnail means the views actually go down. YouTube will just switch it back to the old one. But most of the time, if you really think through it, 8 months ago, did you know as much about thumbnails as you do now? Probably not. So statistically, or just from that perspective, if you create a whole new set of thumbnails for these videos, and you just get someone in your team to start going through them and updating the ones that need updating as soon as possible, I think that's an easy extra 100,000 views a month.
Wow.
Like that.
Wow. That is awesome, man. Yeah, so go and get the CSV from the analytics thing we looked at the other day from the studio. Get it in ChatGPT, ask it to basically look for the highest watch time but the lowest CTR, the top 10 videos.
That's a good place to start. And you can do it with all your videos, but top 10 is the best place to start.
Yeah, top 10. Get that into ChatGPT. Yeah, get the top 10. Redo the thumbnails using... to be honest, I'll do this myself because I find it quite fun. So I'll do this myself. Run that A/B test inside the YouTube itself, not like YouTube thumbnail test thingy, something like that. And hey presto, extra 100K.
I'd say, because so this is a technique that you wouldn't do if you're brand new to YouTube. I wouldn't say do this because it's like you don't have a library of videos to start doing. But in your case, you've already got all these videos that you can play around and test with. And another good way to think about it is like if you're running a Facebook ad, you're always testing out the different creatives, right? Will this image work better than this image? Will this copy work better than this copy? So yeah, I like to compare it to Facebook ads and just go, look, you would do that with Facebook ads. And then it's really funny because when it comes to YouTube, the rules just sort of go out the window and you're like, oh no, this thumbnail that I made 8 months ago is probably perfect. So let's keep it as that. But most of the time it's not. So
true.
That's the first thing I change.
That is awesome. That's such a great place to start. I'll do that immediately.
Yeah, awesome. The next thing I was thinking about is, do you do short form content?
We don't do it. What we do at the moment is I give my short form guy my podcasts.
Yeah.
And just say, chop as many reels out as you can. And we do 2 a day on Instagram. We're about to stop doing that as a test. And we repurpose it across all the different accounts and stuff like that. But we don't do it on the YouTube channel.
Why is that?
Because I've heard that it can get you the wrong type of viewers. Mm-hmm. It gets you short form viewers that won't watch your long form. It gets you subscribers that won't watch your long form. So I think if I just wanted more subs, at the disregard of my entire business, I would put short form on YouTube because I know it'll grow the views and subs. But it probably at the detriment of calls. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think with short form content, I think the best analogy I heard was from Matt Gray, and I love what he said. He basically said, short form content is like a movie trailer, and long form content is like a full movie. And no one buys from a movie trailer. But often to watch the movie, to watch the long form, you've got to watch the trailer. So short form content is very top of funnel, and it's very unlikely someone's going to watch 10 of your shorts and be like, hey, let's book a call with Will. And also you're correct, I believe as well, in terms of if you just plaster short form content all over your channel, generally speaking, you do attract a younger audience because they're the people who've got shorter attention spans and they're on the short form content cycle. That being said, business owners still I watch short form from time to time. You might do yourself, I'm not too sure. And I think there is a way to do short form content correctly where you can leverage the high views from it without damaging your channel.
I think I know what you're going to say. Carry on.
So I'm going to just go through it. What I recommend you do is you have your main YouTube channel here, and then you create a separate channel that is pure short form. And the reason this is so powerful is because if we just do this, if we go, this is the main channel, and this is the shorts. The only time that a short form video can damage your channel, and I've had this happen to me, I think I was showing you the other day, is you make a video and that video blows up, it gets like 5 million views. You get this flood of normally children coming to your channel, and it develops a split audience where you have a whole bunch of people who don't actually care about your long form videos. They want more short form stuff and entertainment. But if you put that on a different channel, Worst case scenario, they're on a different channel and it doesn't really matter. And the way in which you sort of link these two channels is you post all of your shorts, which you're already making for your Instagram, your TikTok, and all your different social media platforms. You put them on here, and you then just link in the sort of the bottom part of the video. You just link the short form to your main long form content on your main channel. And if you think about the customer journey or the viewer journey, they discover you on shorts, they like the short, they're then going to have to take the extra step to click on the linked video, then watch the long form video, and then they might subscribe. And I think that's a really good natural way to get rid of that potential problem where people might like subscribe to you if they're like a child or anything like that who's never going to buy your program.
That's a really, really good idea. Yeah, it's just got that bit of friction. They've got to see the short, they've got to find the link, click the link, go to the channel, choose to subscribe.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a journey they've got to go on to get there and stay there.
If you're looking to just build your personal brand beyond just, hey, I'm Will Brown, I'm a business owner, but you want to move into the slightly wider bracket, having dedicated shorts channels is something that a lot of people do already to just blow up their personal brands as well. So actually on this channel, if you do get a few mega viral ones, it could be quite cool because it's not going to damage your main channel and it's going to build your personal brand.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of a win-win. And you're also already making the short form content anyway. So it's just one extra platform to upload it on.
I love that.
Please.
Mike, so Will, you've got so many testimonial videos. My question here is, Will's got a testimonials channel.
Yeah.
Does he put I think like testimonial shorts could be a good idea. Maybe. Is a testimonial short a good idea? And if so, would you do that on a testimonials channel? Like just shorts of testimonials that then could like flick through?
I would say testimonials are often quite bottom of the funnel.
Yeah.
I'd say, and shorts are very top of the funnel. So it's one of those things where I'd never say, no, don't do it, because realistically, it's a testimonial, it's great content, but I don't think that would move the needle too much. I think realistically, if you're doing shorts, what I always say about shorts is it's got to follow the 3 C's. So it's content, color, and then caliber. I'm going to spell this wrong. So whenever you make shorts, if you want to avoid the trap of your short getting 1 billion views from random children, if the type of things we're talking about in the YouTube short itself is the same as your main long form content, so the content is the same, then that's a good short. The color, meaning, still the Will Brown personal brand is there. So white shirt, Rolex, coffee. So it's the same kind of color. And then caliber, the quality of what you teach on the short needs to be the same as well. And when you follow those 3 boxes, if someone enjoys that, they're probably going to enjoy your long form content as well.
So good, man. So good. Yeah, now what I can do, because we've been doing short form on Instagram for the last November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, we've got so much data there. I can just go back through all the best ones, the most comments, the most views, make sure they tick those 3 boxes, and if they do, get a folder of them, get them on the new shorts channel. I can call it like William Brown Insights or something, so it just sounds clean, professional.
Right now, how do you come up with video ideas? What's your process for that?
I've got 2 processes. Process number 1, I just brainstorm titles that excite me. And then when I've got a title that I think, that's such a good title, I can make such a good video from that, then I just sit down, press record, and talk about that thing. And the video is kind of in my head from a good title. That's route number 1. Route number 2 is I go and find outliers and remake them.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's really good. But that's exactly how I do it as well. Sometimes you just know a video is good without this external reference.
Yeah.
And then other times you're sitting down, you need a bit of inspiration. And the best way to get the inspiration is find another video that's done really well, take that video idea as your starting point, improve on it, and then make the video from there. When you look for outliers, how are you doing that?
2 ways. Way number 1, I go on similar channels.
Yep.
And I look at what are their biggest ever videos, and I just think, could I remake that? And if the answer is yes, then I'll remake it. And another way is I use this 1 of 10 app.
Yep.
And I just get, like 50x outliers or above, 50k views or above. And I just go through all the random videos, and I just wait until like I was doing it yesterday, and I was going through, and one of them was like, my simple strategy for something random, buying cars or something. I thought, I could do my simple strategy to become a billionaire. And then I just got so inspired. I was like, I'll make that now. I made it right now, and it just flowed, and it was just great. So that's how I use it. I just wait for something to just click into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And then I go.
I think what you just said there is really important, because strategy number one that you just mentioned is you're finding similar channels to your niche and you're finding their outliers. And strategy number two is using 1 of 10 to find external channels that are not in your niche and using their outliers. And one thing I think is really important is, obviously you want to be the number one in your niche. And whenever you find similar channels and you use their outliers, by its very nature, you're always going to be one step behind them. Because if you're remaking a video that someone else has already done in your niche, best case scenario, well, they've already made it and it's an outlier for them, so it's already performed really well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've done that, and sometimes it's worth it because it's just a topic you can really talk about. But generally speaking, I would always lean towards the second type and be the first person in your niche to make a video on that thing. And because it's a different niche, like people in the coaching niche just won't have seen that title. So I think you've got more chance doing it with the 1 of 10 outliers.
Agreed.
And when I use 1 of 10, the extra filter I always apply is I always look for channels that have less. I always start off with less than 50k subs, because I think outliers are a very funny thing. People often go, oh, let's go on Ali Abdaal's channel and find an outlier there. But Ali Abdaal already has 6 million subscribers. So even an outlier for him, like a 2x outlier, it's still like, if you copy that, it's just way less chance that it's going to take off on your channel.
Would you go as low as maybe below 10k subs?
I would start as low as possible, because if you can find a video that's, let's say, 100x outlier or 50x outlier, it's, let's say, got 100,000 views and the channel's got 2,000 subscribers, unless they've put paid money behind that video, which is unlikely because it's a small channel, the chances of that, it just has to be an incredibly good idea, something so unique, something so different. So the filter that I move personally is subscriber count as low as possible, and when there's nothing there, bump it up, bump it up, bump it up, because the bigger the subscriber count, the less incredible the outlier generally is. So that's the way in which I'd look for outliers that way. But I just think, generally speaking, there's internal outliers and external outliers. Internal outliers either on your channel, which you can also recreate, or outliers in your niche. But I think the best place to find outliers is from different niches, and then you apply it to you, because you're always going to be first.
100%, man.
So that's how I'd go about doing outliers.
100%. And then for you, would you just go through 1 of 10 until you see something like, and you just think, I can remake that?
It's not even, I wouldn't use the word remake, because for me, it's, I can start here and then add to it. Because I think when you remake something, you run the risk of pissing that person off, because you're basically re-saying what they're doing.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with taking another YouTube channel for inspiration, right? I mean, Mr. Beast, he puts $2 million, $3 million into a video. Almost every single video he makes is based on an outlier from a different channel. So his $1 versus $100,000 whatever experience, BuzzFeed did that years and years ago, and it was a proven format. Train versus Giant Pit, that video for him's got 300 million views. 6 years ago, there's a video with 20 million views or 50 million views called Train versus Giant Pit. Exactly the same video, but Mr. Beast, he took the idea, but then he made it himself, right? He made his own version. So it's all about, for me, it's all about taking their idea as a starting point and then just going, how can I make this even better?
Cool, got it.
Okay, let's talk about posting frequency.
Yeah, so right now, I'm doing, now from this week, I'm doing 2 a week. So I'm doing Monday's good, really try hard video, and then Thursday's just random press play style video.
And what inspired you to do 2 a week? What was the thought
You
process? Apart from me, but before you came to me saying, should I do 2 a week or should I stick to 1? So what was your thought process behind that?
Yeah, well, you know what you were saying actually about ads earlier. Now, if I was going to test ads, I write a batch of 10 and I'll get them all out there. So it's quite a few. And I see it as throwing darts at a dartboard. So I'll throw 10 ads, 10 darts at the dartboard, and I'll usually hit 1 or 2 or 3 bullseyes. And if I don't, well, let's make another batch of 10, throw the darts, right? So, to be honest, I do think volume helps you get to the bullseye faster, or in this case, maybe gets you a big video faster, an outlier faster.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. That's my thesis behind it. It's just more volume means more chances.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. I think there's a level to it though as well, because obviously by that logic, you could make a video a day. And I'm sure you could talk about something every single day and you could do that.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing for any video, like if we just boil it down to its most bare essentials, and I think one of the reasons your channel does exceptionally well, given you just talk to the camera, there's no over-the-top editing or anything like that, is because you solve real problems for real people. And like, if I could summarize to business owners, the thing that they need to do on their channel, their guiding metric, is does this video solve a real problem for a real person who you actually want to help? So obviously you want to solve videos for your ICP, your ideal clients. And when you start increasing the volume, you can often get attached to, oh my gosh, I've got to make 2 videos a week, as opposed to really going back to like, is this video actually helping people?
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Right now. I feel like the more that I have to do, the worse the quality.
Yes.
Potentially. And also, the Thursday talking ones are not always as valuable. They're more, so the way that I see these Thursday videos now, my second video a week, is more stories. What's on my mind? What do I want to talk about? You know, what's my first one? Let me just see what the first one's called, so I can give you an example. So the one that's coming out this Thursday, because I want to run it through that filter that you just said. So the one that's coming out this Thursday, how to make 8 figures selling coaching from someone who's done it twice.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, I'd say brackets after doing it 2 times. That's another way I'd think about it.
Nice, man. Nice. That is a very valuable video. That is a very, very valuable video for my ideal target customer. So fine. Next Thursday's one is my simple plan to become a billionaire, which the title, I think it's quite catchy because it's like, how can you have a simple plan to achieve such a big goal?
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a juxtaposition there. So I like the title. It was taken from an outlier that was like, my simple plan to do something else, like buy a house or buy some cars, shit like that. Totally different niche. But is that valuable to my ICP? It is a bit. It is a bit, yeah. Because one thing I talk about in that video is how Sam Evans once said to me, these info businesses are cash flow vehicles. They're not assets. And you've got to back them with an asset, which is either going to be a real estate or a software, generally. Yeah. So it is valuable. It is valuable. Yeah, it's not the most valuable video ever, but it is valuable.
I would also say, with YouTube, again, the purpose of your channel is to convert viewers into buyers.
Yeah.
And the only way you convert a viewer into a buyer is they watch your content, they like you, they build trust with you, and they're only ever going to book a call with you if they trust you. And sometimes we can overcomplicate things, which is like every video needs to provide value in the sense they can now go and apply that to their life. But you can also apply value in other ways, which is connecting with them, talking to them, sharing your ups and downs and your stories. And okay, they can't then take that and apply it to their business, but there's still a value exchange there because they get to know you on a deeper level. And I would almost see them as more of a connection-based video. So the way in which I look at it is you've got growth-based content, which is designed top of the funnel to attract a new audience. Then you've got lead-based content, which is the kind of stuff I'd say you do most of the time, which is here's some really valuable advice. You can apply it to your business and people go, damn, this guy knows his stuff. I want to work with him. And then you've got at the bottom of the funnel, you've got connection-based content. And that's the stuff that humanizes you. And that's the stuff that makes people go, oh, Will's just a normal guy. So when you're sharing things with your audience, it's like, that's the pillars that I would do. And I know you've got your own content strategy, but like for people I work with, when they're just starting out, if they're doing 4 videos a month, I always say do 2 growth-based videos, 1 lead-based video and 1 connection-based video. And then you get all parts of the funnel.
100%, man. Dude, well, that you've just said the feeling that I had, but I just couldn't put it into words because I thought these videos are going to bring people into my world more and make them resonate with me more. But I just couldn't put the words on it. But it's connection content.
The humanization of Will Brown.
Yeah, definitely.
And
you said this the other day, didn't you? You said something like, you should do more who is Will Brown content.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not like, hey, my name's Will and this is what I do. Welcome to my villa. It's not just that, but it's your thoughts, your feelings, like often sharing your mistakes as well, because people relate to, you know, they want the pleasure, the goal of what you're doing, but they also want the pain of like, they want to know that you've also been where they are. And people do more to get out of pain than they do to pursue pleasure. And when people are in pain and you can relate to them at that point, they're actually much more likely to trust you and like you versus the guy who's got everything sorted.
Value. That's the definition of value. This guy is the human personification of value. So good, man.
I get us a testimonial now.
So good.
We're proud. So that's the way in which I think about it.
Nice, man.
And this is now a bit of a tangent. Actually, no, let's finish the 2 thing a week, because I was just thinking about titles for a second. I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
But let's finish. So 2 videos a week, I think it's really good. I think it's a really good idea. And I would see the second video as like a testing thing. So try out some different things. Because, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, but there's other things you can do. For example, if you have your main valuable video that works, that brings in the clients, just stick with that. And that's your North Star. So you never deviate from that, at least at this stage in your YouTube journey. But then the other one, what you could do is you could try out the, hey, these are my thoughts on how I want to become a billionaire. Hey, this is, I'm not going to say day in the life vlog, but hey, today I'm meeting these really interesting people, because you meet a lot of people in your world. Maybe you record your conversation with them, and maybe that's an insight. Maybe you take one of your clients and you take them from 0 to 10K a month and you document the process. So there's lots of different things you can do with that extra video, and you can just see that as like a constant test. And then when you find a format that lands, boosh, you start doing that for a little while.
100%, man. We've nailed it. That I finally feel now like I know what I'm bloody doing with that. Excellent.
Awesome. That's really good. The other thing you mentioned there is the titles. I always just have lots of thoughts and feelings on titles. So when you come up with a title, what's going through your head?
Something different. Something that feels real. I don't know whether I can express this right, but some YouTube titles sound like YouTube titles. But some titles are just good. Some titles are just sick. They're just real. You know, but they're quite hard to make. They've got to come naturally. There's no formula for them. You know, like some titles are just really good, and I just try and think of those titles there a bit. They feel like real. They feel like a text message. They feel like a word, like a sentence from a human. It's hard to describe.
I agree. I can share my thoughts with you on how I think about titles when I'm just going through that process. When I look at a title, the only purpose of that title is to make someone click. That's it. The only thing that a title is meant to do is someone's meant to see the title, obviously with a thumbnail as well, and it builds curiosity to make them click. So the only reason someone will ever click on a title is because that title builds curiosity, and curiosity is built through 2 emotions, which is fear or desire. So whenever I come up with a title, I'm thinking, does this inspire fear, or does this inspire desire of some sort? They're the 2 like guiding emotions between what makes someone click on a title. For me, I do things like you sometimes, which is I sit down, I just kind of come up with something, and I just know, it's a feeling that works. I get it. But the method that I now use most of the time is what I call framework extraction. So what you do is you find a title, again, a bit like an outlier video, where you find a title that works really well, or a title that inspires you to click. So you go, oh, that's such a good title. And you extract the framework from that title, and then you apply it to your own video. So a really common example of this that like a lot of people were doing was, I think it was like 30 years of business knowledge in 27 minutes.
Yes.
Right? So that the framework for that is X years of thing in Y time frame. Right? That's the framework. You could be a coder, and it could be 10 years of coding experience in 10 minutes, right? And now you've got the same framework, but you've applied it to a different niche. And this is like another really good way to come up with titles regularly that are actually high performing and good, because a bit like an outlier video, an outlier title will build that curiosity, will build that desire. And when you just take the framework and then apply it to your own channel, it's a really good way to start coming up with different title ideas for your videos. So I think we should go to making money.
Let's do it. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. So I'm barely using the whiteboard though. You're doing 11 sales calls per day, 6 or 7 are from YouTube. You've got a 23% close rate. And roughly speaking, you're doing between $450,000 to $600,000 per month.
Correct.
And your goal is to get to $750,000.
Yeah, that's the next thing we want to cross. Yeah.
So to do that, if you can get 15 more calls from YouTube per month, that could bring in an extra 100K. So you'd actually, if to get to 750, you'd probably need like, I'm going to get rid of this. Actually, no, I'll keep this. You probably need like 20 more calls or something. So if we just do that as the goal, that's the goal for my own, to remember it. So can you explain how your funnel works right now from YouTube to Booked Call?
Yeah. So in the YouTube description, there's a link. The link goes to a VSL. Below the VSL is a button. The button goes to a calendar. They book in on the calendar and then they have a call.
Okay. So I always think that sending people from YouTube to a Booked Call page, it can work really well. It's working really well for you. And I do this on some of my videos. But I also sometimes think it's a bit like asking a girl to marry you on the first date. So imagine someone just discovers Will Brown. They don't really know who you are. They've maybe seen a few of your videos and they're very early on in the nurture stage. And then you say, hey, go and book a sales call with me and my team. You're definitely alienating some people when you do that. Obviously, the warmest people, they're going to do it and it's working really well for you. But what I switched to recently on my Magic channel, and this absolutely blew up my conversions and book calls and people buying my program, is sending people to a lead magnet first. And what I always tell people is YouTube builds your audience and email builds your business. So when you send people from, you've got YouTube to VSL to call, the problem is, some people it's just too much of a jump to go from YouTube to VSL. But secondly, it's like, let's just say someone does want to do it, but they're watching your YouTube video at 2:00 in the morning. They're not going to go to your VSL, fill out your form. There's a lot of friction there. And it can be really good because I'm sure it makes sure that the lead quality is very high. But I think it would really be worth testing out, also implementing lead magnets into your content as well, and then sending people to your email list. And then when you've got that email, you already have a newsletter that goes out 3 times a week. You can just soft sell them on that and send them to old videos of yours, give them like an email nurture sequence. So it's all kind of automated. And you just have like a 2-week automated email sequence that basically nurtures the newest people to watch more of your stuff. So they're way more likely to actually go to the book call page.
Yeah, I like that. I'm just thinking, I mean, straight to VSL works. Clearly fucking works pretty well, right? But one thing that we could test is going to an opt-in first with a lead magnet.
Yes.
Then we're leading with value.
Yes.
And we'll actually give them a great lead magnet. Then we give them some value. That goes to their email and kicks off the nurture sequence. Then they land on the VSL after they've got their thingy.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's kind of the same thing, but you're leading with value. And if the value was good, the opt-in rate would be high.
Yeah.
You build your email list pretty damn fast. And then they go to the VSL anyway. Because at the moment, right, there's 2 places we send people. We send them to the VSL and we send them into the book funnel. In fact, no, we don't. Now we're sending them to Amazon to buy the book, right? We could maybe just give the book away for free.
And pay for posters of action email.
And just give them their fucking ebook. So they can just get it immediately and download the book. And that's a book that took me 1.5 years to write. It's 380 pages of serious bloody value. That's the best lead magnet on planet Earth.
Can I challenge that?
Go on, please.
So if you do the lead magnet route, this is probably the most high leverage thing you can do. This for me, I think we mentioned this the other day briefly, but this for me quite literally 10x'd the number of people who watched my YouTube videos and then went from YouTube to actually sign up to my email list.
Tell me more.
Basically, you've got to think about this from the viewer's perspective. They land on your video, and when you talk to them, you're giving value in your video. As soon as you say, hey, by the way, if you want to download my ebook for free, just click the first link in the description. It still sounds like you're kind of selling something, even though it's free. It's this, because it's not directly related to your video, right? So it's this, it's slightly detached. And from there, because it's a generic lead magnet, not a specific lead magnet, there's more friction to actually go and download the thing. However, when your lead magnets, there's two types of lead magnets. There's specific and generic. A generic lead magnet is just this general thing that you give away in all your videos, and it's cool. When you have a specific lead magnet, it's relevant to the content itself. And when you basically give away a specific lead magnet on your YouTube channel, I promise you it will 10x the number of people who actually go and click on the thing. Because it's perceived as value, not as a kind of selling, a thing you're trying to sell on the side. So in your case, let's just say you're doing a video, you made a video the other day about mentality, didn't you? About how to have a good mentality to make money. If on that video you say, oh, and by the way, download my free ebook, it's kind of, they're two different things. But if you literally said, download my free checklist on the 5 points we're covering in this video to do with mentality and building your business, way more people will download that than the ebook that you spent a year and a half writing that's 318 pages.
What do you think about this?
Go for it.
Right? So there is so much stuff in that book. What if I'm doing the video and I say, oh, and by the way, guys, now there's a whole chapter on this in my book specifically about what we're covering today. And it's even more in depth than this video. I'll put a link in the description. You can get a copy of my entire book. Just go to chapter 7 and read that whole chapter.
I was just thinking that as well. Literally just thinking the same thing.
Boom.
100%. Because then it's perceived as extra value. And people go, oh, this is going to help me even more. So either do that, or if you are going to do a specific lead magnet that's separate, it can literally be a ChatGPT list. Like, this is the thing that blew my mind. My free training took me 2-3 weeks to make. The 10-minute free list, more people download that. And when you do that, I mean, I have videos on my channel, my strategy channel that have it's got 2,000 views, and about 400 people will sign up to my email list, which is a crazy number of people going from video to email list because the lead magnet is specific. So that's the first thing I'd say. With your lead magnet, if you give this a go, definitely just make it specific to the video itself. But then here's the more interesting thing, which is this then impacts the video that you're making, because when you make a video, you now need to know what the lead magnet's going to be before you start recording. And you need to know, if the point of this video is to turn viewers into buyers, actually this lead magnet is one of the most important parts, if not the most important part of the video. So you've now got to factor that into your decision-making process when you make a YouTube video. And what a really fun exercise could be is you go through all the chapters of the book and think, okay, how can I turn chapter 1 into a video? How can I turn chapter 2 into a video? And that could be a fun exercise that you could do to come up with some ideas that are relevant to the lead magnet to get you more leads. I'm going to now explain the second thing that I think will really move the needle for you. That is a retention curve on YouTube, a badly drawn one. When do you, in your videos, do you specifically time where you give a call to action in your video?
No.
When do you normally say it, or is it just whenever?
Around the middle and again at the end.
So you kind of do it, let's say here and here. So generally speaking, on most videos, the average video, you might have 20 to 30% of people watching here. And you might have, if you've got a good hook, good intro, and it's the right audience, you might have about, after the intro, you might have about 70% of people here. Let's say you make a video that gets 10K views. If you only put it at the end of the video, actually only 2,000 people saw your call to action. So the actual view count is kind of lying to you, because wow, I made a video with 10,000 views and only this many people followed my call to action. It's because most people didn't even make it to the call to action, which is super, super common. And it doesn't even mean they didn't like your video. People just drop off at random times because they do. Everyone does, right? Putting it in the middle is good. But one thing that I've learned, and from a lot of my testing as well, that's massively skyrocketed my conversions, is the earlier on in the video you put the call to action, the more likely someone is to see that call to action, meaning more people actually click on it. And I guarantee you, if you took all the videos that you had right now, but you put it earlier on in your video, you would have probably 10 to 15 more book calls across all. If you're doing, 120,000 views per month, and all of your call to actions were earlier, I think you'd be getting more than 10 more book calls a month.
I completely agree. Man, if I could go back and just put a CTA at that part, I think we'd get 20, 30 more calls a month.
Yeah. So this
will only be 100K a month extra.
100%. And it's one of those things that you've got to think about, because often when you're at your stage in your YouTube journey, you always think, how do I get more views? How do I get more views? But the real needle movers are, you've already got an audience. You already have consistent people coming to you. It's what little tweaks can you make that are just going to optimize your videos even more. So to tell you exactly when you should put your call to action, my rule is this. You don't want to put it at the very, very beginning because someone just clicks on your video and it looks like you're selling them something.
Yeah.
After the introduction, I always like to make one big point of value. So someone's clicked on the video, introduction's really good. You then go to the first big point of value, and that big point of value is going to make them like you and trust you. And then from there, you have your call to action afterwards. If I were to put a time frame on it, it doesn't have to be specific because it depends how long the first point is. But if you can get it within the first 2 to 3 minutes of the video, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I would do.
Brilliant. Brilliant, man.
And then, do you need to go?
No, my battery is going to die soon. Oh, right. So I'm just protecting.
I was like, why is he giving up?
No, I'm just like protecting my battery now.
Yeah, okay. This is like the last bit, the main bit. So that's the first thing I'd do. The second thing is then this lead magnet needs to be a natural extension of the first point you're making. This is like the next level thing. So let's just say your first point is, let's just talk about mindset, right? And the first point you're making is you need to reshift your identity when doing business. You make that point, and then you say, if you want like my guide or the 10 steps you need to follow in order to do this, or more detail on this in my book, let's say, just click the first link in the description. And can you see how that then comes across as extra value, not as this like, oh, just download my free ebook, right? Which is kind of a mismatch. So that's how you basically skyrocket the number of people, because the lead magnet is specific to the video itself, and it's a natural extension of the first point. The next thing after that is, there's a Stanford study that basically said, if you mention anything twice in video format, the person is 4 times more likely to do it. So if you mention a call to action twice in the video, like you already do, people are 4 times more likely to actually follow the thing. So you have your first call to action here, as you mentioned, and then you have your last call to action at the end of the video-ish, as you're already doing. And yeah, keep doing that, because that's just proven to increase the number of people actually taking the action that you want them to do. And then finally, when it comes to the description of the video, you can still put a call to action for your lead magnet, and then under it, a work for me call to actions. If someone's just going, no, I don't, they're a coach, they're smart, they're not trying to be sucked into this weird funnel thing. They're like, no, I just want to work with Will. You just have that underneath, and they're not going to be like, oh, where's it gone?
That was unbelievable. That was just amazing. I've got so many things to do, so many things to tweak and change, and this is, given a bit of time, this is going to add some serious moolah to the business.
I don't know. This hour session, what do you think it will make you?
Well, put it this way. This session will pay for the renovation downstairs. That's 125 grand. So thank you for the gym and the cigar. You're invited to the gym and the cigar lounge. You've got a bedroom in this house anytime for the rest of your life.
Amazing.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it.
Utterly amazing.
Not at all.